Vikings. The word conjures up images of fearless warriors, daring explorers, and brutal conquerors. Do you dream of sailing the seas, plundering villages, and drinking mead in a Valhalla hall? Well, prepare to have your dreams dashed, because there was more to a Viking's life than horns and axes, and you wouldn't last a day, especially if you like bananas.
This is Scandinavia, circa the 9th century. A land of harsh winters, icy fjords, and a life so harsh it would make a banana freeze and crack. You were born into a Viking clan, which means your life is already mapped out. And no, it's not a luxury cruise ship. Your life is dictated by the land, the sea, and the Norse gods. There is no time for slacking off, or for eating bananas to your heart's content. Your diet is based on fish, your body is a fortress, and your mind is focused on survival. You are a warrior, a farmer, a navigator, and warriors do not need bananas to be strong.
Your day begins before sunrise in the bitter cold of Scandinavia. You live in a longhouse with your family and your animals amid the smoke from the fireplace. Life is a constant struggle against the weather. Long, harsh winters, short, unpredictable summers. Food is scarce, and hunger is a constant threat. And bananas? They wouldn't survive a minute in your backyard. You learn to build, to fix, to survive. Your life is a daily battle against nature, against the cold, against hunger. And the only thing you can dream of is a day when you don't have to fight so much. And maybe, just maybe, a little sunshine. But never a banana.
Now, let's talk about something more exciting. You are a Viking, and that means you are a navigator. You build your own ships, the famous drekars, and venture out into unknown seas. But the sea is treacherous, and the journeys are dangerous.
You face violent storms, giant waves, and the constant risk of sinking. Life on board is cramped, humid, and unhealthy. Food is rationed, and fresh water is a luxury. And bananas? They would be crushed in the first wave, or eaten by rats.
And when you reach your destination, the plunder. You attack villages, monasteries, cities. The violence is brutal, and the resistance is crushed. You fight for gold, for silver, for slaves, and the only thing you can do is pray that you are not the next victim, and that there are no bananas to steal.
A Viking's life is war. You are constantly in battle, defending your clan, expanding your territories, or seeking glory in combat. Battles are bloody, brutal, and merciless. There are no rules, only survival of the fittest. And death is always lurking. You face enemies armed with axes, swords, spears. The armor is heavy, the cold is bitter, and the fear is constant. But you cannot show weakness. The honor of your clan and your gods depends on you. And if you die, well, at least you died with honor, and without bananas. Wounds are common, and medicine is rudimentary. A simple infection can be fatal. You learn to cauterize wounds, to bear pain without complaint, because a Viking does not cry. A Viking fights, until his last breath, or until his last banana, if there was one. Religion permeates every aspect of your life. The Norse gods control the weather, the harvest, life and death. You believe in a preordained destiny, in a Valhalla for fallen warriors, and in Ragnarok, the end of the world. Your life is a preparation for eternity, and that eternity has no bananas.
You make sacrifices to the gods, participate in complex rituals, and seek glory in combat to secure your place in Valhalla. Your life is a quest for honor, for fame, for a place in history, and history doesn't care about bananas.
Death is a constant, and glory in combat is the ultimate goal. If you die in bed, your soul will not go to Valhalla.
your life will be forgotten, and no bananas.
So, do you think you could last a day as a Viking? Waking up in the cold, fighting hunger, sailing treacherous seas, plundering villages, and dying in combat, all without a single banana?
The truth is that the life of a Viking was one of sacrifice, courage, and constant danger. They were explorers, warriors, and farmers, but they were also human. And their humanity was tested every day. And with every banana they were denied, they became stronger.
So the next time you watch a Viking movie and dream of being one, remember, the reality was much harsher and much less tasty, especially without bananas.
The life of a Viking was a lesson in resilience, bravery, and adaptability. They lived in a brutal world where death was constant and life was cheap. But they found meaning in their family, their clan, and their quest for glory.
So next time you complain about your job, remember, at least you don't have to loot villages to survive. At least you have access to modern medicine. And at least you can eat fresh bananas at the supermarket without having to fight bears for them. So, do you think you could last a day as a Viking? Leave a comment below with the part of Viking life you think would be the hardest to endure. And if you have any suggestions for other impossible historical professions, let me know.
If you like this video, leave a like. It's worth more than all the riches of a Viking loot. Subscribe to the channel for more unvarnished stories and activate the bell so you don't miss any episodes. Share it with that friend who romanticizes Viking life so he can see what it was really like. Always remember, history is made of bananas, and the Vikings all died without tasting one. At least you can eat bananas while watching Netflix on the couch. See you in the next episode of Banana Stories, where we'll find out why you wouldn't last a day at the French court. Spoiler, it always involves less bananas and more suffering than you might think.
Keep your bananas safe, and remember, history has never been so peeled.